Good day. I am Honorable Richard Zenadi, the founder and the CEO of SWIFTtrip. So today I will be sharing with you on this Zoom presentation all about SWIFTtrip. I want to show you how Kobo can become hundreds of naira, can become millions of naira, can become billions of naira, can become trillions of naira. So I say to you, SWIFTtrip will make you a trillionaire. Now, I will draw your attention to the stage we are right now. So to answer this question, has SWIFTtrip been launched? SWIFTtrip at this stage is in the vision stage. And that is why every one of us that have bought into this idea as shareholders, we must uphold it as a vision. There are two different things, two different case scenarios. When a business idea is at the vision stage, the way you speak about it and the way you uphold it is very different from the way you speak about it when it's now speaking for itself. Take, for instance, you tell a friend today, be a part of SWIFTtrip, own shares in SWIFTtrip. Come own the company by shares so that as the company grows, you just become super wealthy. And the person tells you, it's one of those things. Now, by the time we have launched the e-taxi aspect, we have launched the SWIFTtrip Airways, and you call the person, come, I want to show you something. And you bring that person to the SWIFTtrip airport and you say, hey, this was the thing I was telling you about. That person will say, why didn't you tell me well? Why didn't you persuade me enough? No, it's not because you didn't tell the person well, but the thing now is that the vision is speaking. So it's two different things. Right now we speak and many people can see what we are seeing. So this is only for visionaries, persons who are able to see with the mind, with the eyes of the mind rather, with the eyes of the mind, and whomever can see what we are seeing will join us to do what? To achieve what we see. So, the Bible made it clear to say, where there is no vision, what happens? The people perish. And that means that where there is a vision, the people flourish. That's amazing. And look at it, the vision, the people, whatever has to do with a vision must carry the people along. I'm so passionate about SWIFTtrip because it is just way beyond my capacity. Way beyond the capacity of any one man. So at this point, we are transmuting this vision into the physical. And in order to do that, we must be able to transmute this into the minds of 2.4 million shareholders of SWIFTtrip. That is the target for the launch. 2.4 million shareholders base, because it is a crowdfunding system. If anybody asks you, is this crowdfunding? Yes, it is a crowdfunding. We know what Nigerians has gone through. We know the losses we have faced. And as a company, we decided, okay, how do we make this a risk-free opportunity to carry the people along? All these persons who have been damaged. We come to recreate our finance. You all know Chimo. Chimo was the last online business I did. Why? Because when I saw that business fail, I said, anything in online investment like this will fail. You heard about ESPN, you heard about AGT, you heard about ZASS. People call me and say, Honorable Richards, come and do this. We know you can. Is it not money we need for SWIFTtrip? I said, no, it's not money we need for SWIFTtrip. We need people. When we have the people, we have the money. One person to a slot in SWIFTtrip. We are not after money. We are after impact. One person to what? A slot. If you're a note holder, how much is it? 10,000 naira. When people understand what that can do for them, making them trillionaires as years go by, they say, why can't I have 10 slots? No, you can't. Keep your 100,000. Just 10,000 naira is what the company says. Bring 10,000 naira. So if you love your family, please don't leave them behind. Carry them along. Carry them along. So what is SWIFTtrip? I will share my screen now. And, okay. I'll share my screen to now show you what SWIFTtrip is all about. Now, on this first slide, you see, we say, words is not for a selected group of people. So looking at this slide, you already understand SWIFTtrip, profits distribution, wealth distribution. This has never, it has never happened in the transportation sector. SWIFTtrip is the first worldwide to do what we are doing. And this whole innovation springs up from the fact of the era that we are. We understand today that companies are no longer the employers of labor, rather the people are now the employers of labor. So companies that will bring up innovations that can put the customers on payroll, they will thrive. But companies that will simply put the CEO, the stakeholders, the shareholders, the staffs on payroll, no matter the quality of services, guess what? Those companies will go down. If you don't understand this, you will understand it 5 years, 6 years from now. It's going to be so clear to you. So this whole thing is by the foresight of the future. Now the power is in your hands. When a company wants to make money, how do they make money? Most of the companies today, everyone wants to have their projects or their business on the mobile phone. The mobile phone has given you the power. Now, I will make a live scenario so you just understand what SWIFTtrip is all about. This is a digital transportation company, like the Uber and the Bolt. But why are we different from the Uber? That's what I want to explain to you. Now, we're connecting passengers and drivers. Drivers can register their vehicles worldwide. And when these persons register online, offline, they can get contracts of the passengers around them, and when they service their needs, they earn. So we are simply coming together to provide a platform that empowers the people. All right. So having said that, I'd like to now show you how we're different from the Uber, from the Bolt, from the Palm Drive, InDrive, Waymo, Cabman. Okay, so I'll use this illustration. A friend of yours is coming to your destination, or rather to your location. And the person called you, I'm coming, and you said, oh, I'm expecting you. In 15 minutes time, that person called you back with maybe a tone of frustration. See, I don't think I'll be coming anymore. And you said, why? The person told you, I've been standing under the suns trying to stop drivers, and all of them are telling me the same thing, that if they're coming there, maybe they're blowing empty. Coming back, they might not see anybody to pick on the way. So it's quite a challenge. Say, what are you doing? Why suffering yourself? Why not just download Uber? And a driver will come pick you now. The person, what's Uber? You say, just download it. Go to Play Store, download Uber. Now that person downloaded Uber, took the trip, came to your place, paid the driver. Uber made 20%. The driver made 80%. You who recommended that trip, how much did you earn? The person who booked that trip, how much did he earn? Let's not even talk about the person who booked now, you who recommended the trip. Some people look at it right now, everyone looks at it normal, that you can patronize services of companies and you don't need to earn. Who told you? You can recommend services to companies and you're not paid. Who said that? That was in the past. We're in the future. So, let me use this illustration. When you take a person to buy land, why do you look for your cut from the seller or even from the buyer? When you take a person to rent an apartment as an agent, why do you look for your cut? You recommended and you need something back. It's the same thing. That's why I said companies that won't put their customers on payroll will what? Go down. We're not here to compete. Look at this. By the time SWIFTtrip launches, we're not here to compete. We are simply here to teach companies how to relate with their customers. So guess what? Even if Uber sees this, Bolt sees this and realize that, oh, this is the future, let's do this. SWIFTtrip has its place in the global markets. No one company can service the need of the world This is mobility we're talking about. Everyone has his own place. You might have not had the opportunity to be a shareholder of Bolt, a shareholder of Uber. You have the opportunity now. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Now, the Node app is out for shareholders. The moment you become a shareholder, you go to the official website and download this app. It's also available on Play Store, but at the time of this recording, it's still under review and it will soon be released. So, soonest you can download this app from the Play Store. And what is this app? This is the SWIFTtrip crowdfunding program, the Node application. Node simply means point of contact. This is how we bring ourselves together, the shareholders of SWIFTtrip. Now, the company is spending hard on Facebook, spending on radio. On every 10,000 naira from a node holder that comes to the company spends 3,800. And if you multiply this by 2,400, 2.4 million, how much do you get? Let's do that together. Let's do that together. I like moving practical. Now, 3,800 from every 10,000 naira that comes to the company. Let's say multiplied by 400,000. What do we have here? Yep. We have 9.12 billion naira. See, this must be spent on adverts. So if we can spend 3,800 from every time a shareholder comes to SWIFTtrip, we spend that on Facebook or social media. So we spend that on radio. Why can't we spend that on our shareholders? That's why we call this a campaign. You campaign with SWIFTtrip, you earn all the way until the launch, because how many do we need? We need 2.4 million nodes to be activated. 2.4 million nodes. And as a shareholder, let me show you this. You own, as a node holder rather, you own 0.000125% of SWIFTtrip. So multiply this times 24 million. What do you get? You get 3. 3. Do you see that? That means 3%. SWIFTtrip has brought out 5% for its shareholders. 2% is reserved for the stakeholders. Soon as you understand what the stakeholders are. 3% is reserved for the crowdfunding. That is to carry as many along. For I tell you the truth, that this slot is affordable. This affordable. Don't take it for granted. If the node slot of SWIFTtrip is put in 500,000, it is not compared to the works. It is not compared to the benefits attached with it. If the company is 500,000, it has only the effect here is that the crowd can no longer access the privilege. It's gone from the crowd. So in order for the crowd to be carried along, we put in a risk-free opportunity. This is risk-free. Don't miss SWIFTtrip. If you're a shareholder, don't have the regrets in the future that by the time it's doing great, people are still depending on you. Your children, your wife, your husband. When you had an opportunity, you left them behind. Please carry them along. This is very affordable. So, I'll come back to this calculator, but let's see. This is a Web 3.0 technology. It's a decentralized, a DeFi echo chain. That is a decentralized financial echo chain enterprise. You see this USDT here? That shows you the BTC, the Swift coin. All of this just tells you that it's a decentralized project. We're not going to be making use of the BTC, but we're making use of the USDT. People can top up their SWIFTtrip wallets by the USDT from Luno. One Swift coin is equal to 1 USDT, which is equal to $1. And this suits the wristwatch is showing you that this also on this same app, you can perform. You can see this, the mats, the Swift mats. You can perform the e-commerce services, that is merchants owning shops and selling to the buyers. And if a person at this end of the city buys from you at this other end of the city, do you need to begin to find another company to send your product to them? No, just switch into SWIFTtrip and now what? Book the trip for the product delivery, and that product, you get a driver which will come deliver the product to you. And the SWIFTtrip Airways, which I made mention of, will also be launched. So when you have the need to ship your products outside the country, what do? You need to look for DHL, Do you need to look for ops? No. All you need is what? SWIFTtrip. This is massive. And now I'll be drawing your attention to our core values, our core services, the proposed services of SWIFTtrip. So, but first, I think I've introduced myself, Honorable Richard Nade, the founder and the CEO of SWIFTtrip, and our team of developers for this project, the Innovate Web Solution in Dubai. So we tell you, this is the next level e-taxi app that will make you a trillionaire. All right, so the core service is the aviation, the e-taxi, the e-commerce, the logistics, and seamless transactions via the blockchain. With time permits me to give you a download of this, the aviation. I want to show you something. Do you know that many people can be very skeptical when it comes about big visions? I have some persons calling me to say, Honorable Richard, aviation, there is no money in aviation. Who told you that? Look at this. Revenue generated per year, $841 billion. And someone can tell you that there's no money. I'm talking about the global market cap of the airline industry. There is money here, a sustainable market. And some people say, Honorable Richard, do you know how much it takes? Do you know how much it costs to have an airline? Isn't more people doing it? Why do you need to allow some person's opinions to become your reality? If you want to move forward, you have to follow persons with a mindset that is forward-driven. There is nothing there for us to achieve the SWIFTtrip airline. If it is the money will appear. We would raise what? The money. Whatever it takes to do this, we will do it. All right. Now, the e-taxi global markets, that's the first as we'll be launching. And now this global market turns over revenues of $34.82 billion every year. It's massive. But I want to show you something bigger, which is the e-commerce. Now, when we're talking about e-commerce, many of you might not understand the power of this. I'm talking about $14.30 trillion. Please do your research. This is not 2023 analysis, 2021. Look at that slide. 2021. Go to Google and check it. $14.30 trillion. Why is it massive than the transportation industry? Just like we talked about the airways. Not everyone can raise that capital. The e-taxi, not everyone will have a beautiful car that the company will accept. SWIFTtrip accepts 2011 model. Not everyone will have the money to do that. But everyone can own a shop online. You have an offline shop, it doesn't matter. Meet a person who you know. Tell that person, I want to snap your clothes to display it online. Snap it, open a shop on Gigi, on Jumia. What happens? When anybody patronizes you, you go to that person's shop, pick it, deliver it, you make your percentage. Awesome. And that is why this market is huge. And that is what we're leveraging on. See, I'm just trying to show you this so that you understand that the services we are rendering, the business beside or behind this innovation are so sustainable. Do not miss SWIFTtrip. I will keep saying this until the end of it. Don't miss SWIFTtrip. Don't miss it. You might have seen so many opportunities that burnt your hands. Are those things investments? If be frank to yourself. Those things promised you now. When you were even about to invest, you asked a very funny question, which is, if I invest now, what will I be gaining now? Or some people ask, have they started paying? It pains me. When you fall victim of something once, you fall into it again. When will you just wake up to the fact that making money is not about the now? It's about patience. It's about working for it. It's about building. It's about what? Building. So you have to have this initiative to put yourself in a position. When a person tells you about business, you should ask, how much can this thing sustain me in my old age? Can this thing take me through my retirement? Does this thing have the ability to be transferred to the next generation? These are the questions you need to answer. It's not about the now. It's about the future. This is massive. And I encourage you, do not miss the SWIFTtrip opportunity. So like I said, the company has given 5% shares. 5% shares offer to the shareholders of SWIFTtrip. And the 3% will sell 3%. There's no negotiation about this. 3% of SWIFTtrip will be sold before the launch of business. And how many is tied? What's tied to this milestone? Like I did that for you. I showed you how that brought about the 3. I think I've done that. Yes, 3. So 2.4 million notes, these bits of shares, it will take 2.4 million shareholders to consume 3% of the project. Now, of SWIFTtrip shares. Now, why do we need shareholders in SWIFTtrip? The development of the SWIFTtrip Nigerian Airways, the setting up of the SWIFTtrip administrative offices per state, and for the launch of SWIFTtrip business in Nigeria and in UK, Liverpool to be precise. Then when we manage business in these two countries, we now move ahead towards spreading our tentacles across the globe. Now, I want to show you this important part that says shareholders level. Okay, shareholders level. You need to understand that we have two kinds of shareholders in SWIFTtrip. The stakeholders, which is the level 1 to the level 7, and the stakeholders, the node holders, which is the level 8. The level 8. To own 0.05% of SWIFTtrip cost how much? 64 million naira. To own the base slot of 0.0005% of SWIFTtrip cost 1 million naira. To own the basic one of SWIFTtrip cost 16 million. Then to own the node slot of SWIFTtrip costs how much? 10,000 naira. And that gives you a volume of 0.0000125%. Please, it's affordable today. Don't take it for granted. Now bringing your attention to the notes, showing you how an investment and a share volume of 0.00125% would make you a billionaire. Now, this is really our competitive edge here. These 2.4 million node holders. It's for the scalability and usability of the SWIFTtrip e-taxi app when it's launched. We might see ourselves as 2.4 million owners of SWIFTtrip. The company actually sees us as 2.4 million ready users of SWIFTtrip. So how you're a user of SWIFTtrip? You as an owner of SWIFTtrip, you have the need of mobility, right? You want to book trips. Now, if you have Uber, you have Bolt, you have SWIFTtrip on your phone, who are you going to book? These companies have the same ability, for instance, to service your needs perfectly well. Which are you going to book? Are you going to book Uber? Are you going to book Bolt? No, you're going to book SWIFTtrip. Why? It is your own. It is massive. Then you understand this as an echo chain system. All right, let me now bring you to this. Look at this. This is powerful. We show you this slide so you understand the echo chain system behind this. Hello, if we don't service a passenger needs, nobody earns. Nobody earns. The people making profit on SWIFTtrip now, the shareholders, they are campaigning along with the company and earning those advertisement bonus. This is not a company will tell you earn this and we are showing you, no. We don't promise you nothing. Okay, we don't promise you things that are not realistic. We're telling you, come, let's own a platform. We service the needs of one person, everybody ends in one place. We service the need of millions of people, we end in million places. We service the need of 1 billion persons, we have end in what? In billions of places. We service the needs of trillions of people, we have end in trillions of places. That is how powerful this is. Now the passenger, who is the profit generator here, the passenger pays the company at the end of the trip 100% of that fund. Let's say 2,000 naira. The company do what? Take 10%, which is about 200 naira. Pays the driver 80%, which is 1,600. Pays the passenger 2%. The people who referred the passenger of the fourth generation, they earn 1%, 0.3%, 0.1, 0.1, all in place 1.5%. The customers who refer the drivers earns 1.5%. So all of this is how many now? 10, 80, 85%. So in the shareholders, that's 95% altogether. The node holders 3%, the stakeholders 2%. That is 100%. This is massive. So when we look at the next level, let's see what could also happen when a driver is booked to deliver trips. Similar scenario plays out here. The buyer buys the goods, the driver delivers the product. Everybody ends. We talk about the SWIFTtrip airline. The SWIFTtrip airline. You book a trip, a flight ticket. Everybody ends. The shareholders and the people affiliated to that trip. Now, by the time we've launched this project, people will download SWIFTtrip for free. Because when you share the benefit for them, now this 2.4 million persons sharing the benefits, and people are asking you, how much do I pay to be part of this? No, it's free. It's only now that we talk about shares in SWIFTtrip. By the time this node campaign is over, everybody that's coming in SWIFTtrip, there'll be no more opportunity to invest. You come in free. That's interesting. You come in free. And you enjoy it. So people will come in free and they're going to make hundreds of millions out of this simply by building a structure that works for them for life. So imagine this: 2.4 million shareholders of SWIFTtrip have 3 persons each, drivers and passengers, in their structure. 1 week after the launch, how many people do we have in SWIFTtrip? 9.6 million users of SWIFTtrip. In a month, we're talking about 50 to 60 million users of SWIFTtrip in Nigeria. So anybody from anywhere in the world can be a stakeholder, but the nodes are reserved for only Nigerians because we understand the momentum we want to build in Nigeria. So another thing, okay, I think I mentioned that before, but if I didn't, I'll just mention it, that people would want, when you understand this part now, what's in it for you, you understand how it's going to make billions, trillions in the future. You'll be interested in wanting to have 10 slots. No, SWIFTtrip says, keep your 100,000. All we need is 10,000 naira from a node holder. But if you love your family, please carry them along. At the end of this, we're not having 500,000 persons who collected the 2.4 million slots, maybe two slots. No. If we're having 2.4 million slots sold, we have 2.4 million persons in SWIFTtrip. So your children must have an email, unique phone number, and their unique bank accounts before you can register them as node holders of SWIFTtrip. So let's look at this. What's in it for you? So we're making an illustration with 2,000 naira. Trips will be 10,000, trips will be 50,000, trips will be 500, 1,000, but we'll just stick to 2,000 naira here so that we can make what we call a well-calculated estimate into the future. So I want to show you how your slots as a shareholder gives you kobo per trip. Now, you own a node in SWIFTtrip, and our passenger met the driver. The passenger met the driver and paid how much? 2,000 naira. Multiply that 2,000 naira by the volume of your shares, which is 0.0000125%. That gives you 0.0025 kobo. Kobo. I'm not showing you here something that pays you or doubles your money in how many. No, I'm showing you something that pays you kobo. Do you know Obasanjo? Yes, we do. That man saw the power of telecommunication. He brought in MTN, negotiating with them. Every recharge card you make today, do you know that Obasanjo earns kobo? Imagine the volume of that happening per day. Throw him into the desert, he will turn there to become a paradise. What I mean is that you can strip him of everything he owns presently. Go look at him again tomorrow. He has bounced back. Why? You cannot touch the source of his finance unless you can end communication. The same thing you're about to do for yourself. Nobody can touch your finance unless they can end mobility. And the only person that can end mobility is whom? The coming of Christ. It's massive. So let's see how this kobo can become millions, billions, and trillions of dollars. Now, we're still sticking to the trip of 2,000 naira with the understanding that Uber currently is performing 23 million trips per day. So let's make a life per day analysis. What we're doing is more powerful than the Uber, but let's just look at when we arrive to perform globally 10 million trips per day, we've expounded. Now, multiply 10 million times 2,000 naira. The answer you get, multiply it by the volume of your shares, 0.00015%. If you are a stakeholder also watching this, multiply that by the volume of your shares you own in SWIFTtrip. If you've forgotten what you own on this slide, maybe you're just following up now, pause this video, go back to the previous slide where I showed you the two kinds of shareholders in SWIFTtrip, study the ownership slots, and now that's the volume of your percentage in SWIFTtrip. So do 10 million times 2,000 naira, the sum of money you get multiplied by the volume of your shares. As a note holder, that gives you 250 naira. To a gambler, this is small. But to an investor, an investor, it is huge. Because that person understands the power of reoccurrence, the power of volume, the power of percentage. If we are performing 1 billion trips per day, you earning in 1 billion places per day. That's the power of owning SWIFTtrip by shares. That's powerful. All right, let's look at how that grows into thousands. Now, this presentation slide is there with you, so you can always analyze this. But I'll just make mention. Uber is performing 700 million trips per month as of 2023. 2017, Uber was performing 573 million trips per month. These are companies that see shares their passengers with orders. What do I mean share? As a customer of Uber, I can have Uber, I have Bolt, I can decide to make use of any one of them because I have no attachment to them. But in SWIFTtrip, our customers have attachments, personal attachment to the company because they are earning from the company. I'm not talking about shareholders. I mean the customers, let alone shareholders. You have an attachment to this. So we're going to have loyal customers, repeated patronages. We're going to outperform all of these. So let's just look at 400 million trips per month, multiplied by 2,000 naira. And now you multiply that by the volume of your shares. What you get as a deluxe, you get 400 million naira here. As a note holder, you get 10,000 naira. That's huge. But let's proceed to see what will become in the future. Let's see where we could be in 5 years from now. And I tell you, 5 years from now, SWIFTtrip will have performed thousands of trillions of trips. Please don't consider this figure big that you've seen here. Here we're using 50 trillion trips. This is meager compared to what we would have actually done. I know the system we're building. Just follow me. And you will see, lo and behold, how in that time we have performed above this. When you're making an analysis, you make it in the least worst case scenario. This is the worst case scenario of our less than 5 years from now, or 5 years. So let's see how you can multiply 50 trillion trips, multiply that, 50 trillion, multiplied by 2,000 naira, and multiply that by the volume of your shares. As a note holder, that gives you 1,250 million naira. 1.25 billion. Now, if you look at the deluxe, 50 trillion naira. You look at the basic one, 10 trillion. You look at the base lot, 500 billion. Don't worry, everyone in billions. As years go by, think about 10 years, think about 20 years, think about 50 years. You're ranking in trillions. Think about how you transfer this thing to your children. So I encourage you, wherever you are, don't miss SWIFTtrip because I've shown you right now how a node holder, that asset which you are purchasing now in SWIFTtrip for 10,000 naira would yield for you 1.25 billion naira with a share volume of 0.00125%. So we say, do not miss the SWIFTtrip profit share offer. Thank you very much for following through with this presentation. Please, if you have questions, you will try to join us on the group. If you're looking at this from the website or someone sent it to you, you have to join us on the WhatsApp group and follow through with our 8 p.m., yes, in the nights, and 10 a.m. every morning. You follow us on our live call on WhatsApp. Ask your questions. You will speak directly with me on those meetings. You ask your questions. You get to understand more about how this innovation can transform your life. Thank you very much and stay blessed. Once again, it's Honorable Richard Nadi, the founder and the CEO of SWIFTtrip. I assure you, SWIFTtrip will make you a trillionaire. So now we have come to the end of this Zoom presentation, and I believe it was helpful to you. So the last thing I would like to say before we close this meeting is, why should you trust SWIFTtrip? Why should you trust Honorable Richard Tenadi? I'll ask you this question. When you come in contact with a person who you want to do business with, why do you trust that person at first? Why? No, just answer that. Why? There is no answer to that. No reason why. There is no reason why you can say, I just want to trust this person. There's no trust at the beginning. Please take note of it. There's no trust. The only thing that makes anybody to do business with a person is what? Benefits of